Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football selections for Saturday, the 12th of April. So I'm sat outside, um, drinking a cup of black coffee with one sweetener. I'm sure you need to know about that. So I'm providing selections for Ayr and Newbury. If they do well, I might put out a video in the evening. I've had a quick look. I haven't gone into great detail, but I shall explain slightly why I've gone for these selections. Above, you can see other bets that I've had. Literally had. It was just for a bit of interest while I weren't having daily bets. So I've had a little go on the golf. I'll tell you what I've had. I've had Minwoo Lee, Hideki Matsuyama, and Aaron Rai. That was before the ball was hit. Um, and then I've basically doubled them up and trebled them up with. In fact, I'll just show you. So that was a free bet. I actually literally just pressed the button on that one because I thought it was an 18-hole three ball, whatever you call it, but it weren't. It's a tournament one. I've not even tracked how it's doing. That was a free bet. So this is the golf bet, the Masters bet I was talking about. So um, the each way doubles, 25p each way doubles is £8, 10p each way trebles is £2.40, and then there were pound each way singles on every single selection. And I shall tell you what they were doubled and trebled with now. So I've had 12 places each way. Minwoo Lee, 28 to 1. Hideki Matsuyama, 20 to 1. And Aaron Rai, 8 to 1. Aaron Rai, when it first started, I think 2 shots clear. I was again excited and thinking, ka-ching, 20 quid each way going on my other selections in the other bets. So that is the golf bet. I shall now show you what I've gone for. And all I've done is, I'm bonkers as most people know, but this will just literally prove it. So I've gone for right. This is just a apparent horse racing tipster, and how I've gone for my, my selection process. So Saturday, the 3rd of May, it's the 2,000 Guineas, and I've gone into great detail with this. So my views are very different than a lot of other people's about what's going on in the world. Well, apparently supposed to be a cosmic event in the next few years, a huge one. So I thought I'd go for Cosmic Year. I looked at the form and I looked at the horse, and it is a decent one, and it did look very progressive, and it's 6 to 1. It actually ran the other day at Kempton and absolutely flew through the line. I don't care what it be. I was looking at how it powered through the line and took some pulling up. Does it mean it'll win? No, but 6 to 1. Hopefully it runs. I haven't even looked at whether it's non-run or no bet, and I don't know. So that was one of the horses it was doubled with. In the same race, I've also gone for Field of Gold. I've gone for Field of Gold purely for the fact that I've looked at it and I think it's got a chance, but I've gone for the fact of the current economic climate and the price of gold going up. I've gone for these for topical reasons. Um, so yeah, so don't follow me in. I wouldn't advise it, but and if it does come up, it's pure fluke only. Or is there something else going on in the world? And Sunday, the 4th of May, I've gone for in the 1,000 Guineas Celestial Orbit. Celestial also topical to do linking to do with the cosmic and or orbit as well. And falling snow. Well, you can't beat a bit of climate change, apparently, can you? So I've looked at all these horses, and realistically, all these horses have got a sneak. So they're not completely daft. They have got chances. It's just whether they run or not. So there you can see I've had the pound each way singles. So let's get on to maybe, hopefully, a bit more of a sensible bet. But I always like to have a bit of an interest. So before I get into it, did you notice the other day, because I did, I watched the first race at Redcar, and I do notice that it's probably not because of this channel, but they have tried to shift the draw bias or nullify the draw bias at Redcar. Well, it was so obvious, but the draw bias a lot of the time was due to the car driving behind them on the inside rail. That was a lot of the. Don't get wrong, there probably is a bit of a camber where it drains towards the middle and near side of the course, but they've started putting these stalls on the near side, so they're still going to the far side. Um, so who knows? But I did find it quite funny that they were. that they admitted the draw bias, a huge draw bias, and it was at one of the times we did take advantage of it, but it was always awkward because the draw bias at Redcar always started out by them ignoring it in the first race, gradually going over towards the far race. Then what they were doing then is doing everything they could to lead, but then the problem is they were over racing earlier on, and horses were coming down the middle of the track that had been held up or couldn't go the early pace, so it kind of like made a farce of the draw in the end. Yeah, so let me get on to. So the bet is I've had a 25 pence each way. Yeah, I've actually had two 25 pence each way lucky 15s, and I've only gone for two 25 pence each way lucky 15s is because in one of the races, which is the Ayr Scottish Grand National, I've gone for two selections, and they are huge prices. And I tell you what, I honestly think it's wide open. I'll talk you through the race in a minute. Only literally looking at the names, and I shall tell you what my view was. Nothing to do with ready form too much, because I think sometimes in these big races you can ignore some recent form. A lot of these horses, as they go into these races, they're just trials, or they're trying. And when I mean trials, I mean are they keeping this horse ticking over, running over much shorter distance, running over hurdles, running over the what do you call it? Those races with the banks and whatever at Cheltenham, the cross country, they run over those and everything. It's like it's anything to hide the handicap mark. So let me get into it. So the first selection it's California Dreamer. I've left the price in the 2 o'clock at Newbury, paying 5 places instead of 3. So this horse has a bit to find. It has quite a bit to find on the favourite, but fitness is taken on trust on most of the horses. This horse had a run the other day. It ran one of its better racing post ratings of 90. I think it was 95, which it tells you it's in fine form. But what it does tell you is that it's fit. Don't get me wrong, some of these will be. I think no matter what, there'll be no horses that have just purely targeted this race for the entire campaign. Don't get me wrong, there were some horses fitter than others with it being a higher priority. But I think this horse, the fact that it's fit, and I'll tell you a bit about the owners, the Amo Racing Ltd. I honestly think that there's going to be a lot of pressure on now. There needs to be some return on investment. They spent an awful lot of the sales. They now need to have, I won't say, sorry, not really return on investment, but they need to increase their stock profile on the horses that they've got now. Because I do believe they're going through a breeding operation now. So it looks like they're going down the Ballydoyle route, or Coolmore, is it? I don't know. I'm not going to go down that route because I couldn't tell you. But like what Godolphin do, having their own sires, I do believe that they've gone down that route, and it might take 2 or 3 years to pay off. But they need to start recouping some of those financial investments. So California Dreamer in the 2 o'clock at Newbury, paying 5 places instead of 3. And I was going to save this for the end of the video, but what I would say is keep Amo Racing on the right side, even if you have forecast and tricast and you've picked 2 already, or 1 or 2 already, and you want a third one, add Amo Racing 1 in, because I think that one of the biggest things that they'll do is I think they'll target the major handicaps, because you don't need good horses for major handicaps. You need progressive horses on a very lenient mark, because obviously if you hide the handicap mark, if you run over, like I just said, if you run over distances too short and all that kind of stuff, it can be a false handicap, like the Sir Mark Prescott thing. I'm not saying they go down that route of that, but there's different ways of achieving the Sir Mark Prescott handicap mark without doing the Sir Mark Prescott handicap. Where you used to run them over 6 furlongs at Southwell, then next minute they're over 1 mile 2 at Pontefract. And they've gone from being 100 to 1, 50 to 1, and 200 to 1 at Southwell to being 1 to 4 at Pontefract over a mile and 2. So you get my gist. So California Dream, it comes in there race fit. I do think it's just behind the favourite on ratings, but it's right up amongst the others on ratings, in my opinion. I find it interesting it's had a recent racecourse appearance, because are they actually targeting this race amongst others with this horse? The second selection is Bunting at 13 to 2 in the 2:15 at Ayr, in the Scottish Champion Hurdle, 4 places instead of 3. Right, I'm just going to nip to this race. Because what I'm also going to do is, going forward, I think there's a lot of value now in ignoring the pulled ups. I know you might think I'm a bit bonkers, but I think horses are ignored just purely for the fact that they've got a pulled up at side of the name. Because don't get me wrong, I've been betting for like, I'm 48 now. Who knows? 48 now. Chuffing Nora. Just check year. What year we're in? Yeah, 48. Crikey. So yeah, this pulled up thing. I think there's been far too many horses that won a too big a prize because they've got a pulled up at side of the name. I haven't purely gone for this reason, but it was something that I wanted to trial. I was going to trial it the other day by picking some horses that were in decent form beforehand, but had a pulled up at side of the name last time. So bunting. So it's 2 mile. It's Willie Mullins. It's also that Tony Bloom guy. Is it Brighton's CEO? So, excuse me. Ignore the pulled up. Why do I ignore the pulled up? Well, all the previous form was over 2 mile. Yeah. It gives it a chance, in my opinion. But it was over 2 mile 5 last time. Took Keenhold race wide, prominent. So, in my opinion, all it was a racecourse gallop. Took Keenhold, so it wanted to go quicker, so it's got the pace. It was running over 2 mile 5 at Cheltenham. If you're keen at Cheltenham, you don't finish the race very well. It raced wide. Did it cover more ground? Prominent, joined leader. What, 4th, 3rd? What would that be? Maybe a third of the way around. After 4th, we can quickly approaching last. So, in my opinion, it was just a tempo run. But with tempo runs, you're supposed to finish the race strongly. But in my opinion, it was a speed test. It was blowing the cobwebs away because it hadn't run since January. All right, it's only 2 months, but before that, don't get me wrong, it was beating the odds on. But I don't care about these things because it's a 6,000 race. It's an 8,000 race. Yeah. I think it's got a chance. It's not done a great deal for Willie Mullins since its first 2 races, really. But Willie Mullins knows how to place his horses, and I couldn't ignore it. And the fact is, it's 3rd favourite. I actually took the price because I think potentially it could be smaller than that. So the 3rd selection is Cogitate. I've left the price in the 12 minutes past 3 race in the Spring Cup, 5 places instead of 3. I'll keep it brief on this. Holly Doyle takes them round. I think it's Ed Walker who trains it. So this horse, Holly Doyle's ridden it since, but I know. She rode this on its debut. I think she was impressed on its debut and asked to say like basically, if there's a big race, can I be on board? That's what I'd guess. Because she doesn't ride every single horse for Ed Walker. And I think that the fact that she liked this horse and she wanted to pair up with it in another big event. I've left the price. I think it's about 8 to 1. And finally, the Ayr Scottish Grand National. So the selection in this lucky 15, bear in mind I've got 2. I shall scroll down to the other in a minute. Is Dom of Mary in a 3:35 at Ayr, paying 7 places instead of 4. David Bridgewater is very shrewd in these big races. I believe that this one could run a race. It's 7 places, and it's currently, I think it's 40 to 1. It's a Cheltenham Festival winner. I can't remember what race without going back, and you don't need to know that, and you're not that bothered about that. But I think it's better than 40 to 1. Keelan Quinn on board. Only ran 3 times this season. It stays the trip. Could have a chance. There's a lot of funny horses in this race where, well, there is. It's a tricky. In fact, I'm running out of battery very shortly. So the next selection is, so it's the same lucky 15 again, 25 pence each way lucky 15. So it's £15 on the horses. And the other horse I've gone for is a James Owen, who I think is going to he's really pulled up trees in the last, couple of seasons. And he's got this one with Callum Pritchard on board, and it's Grosney. They've both got decent form. They both ran in the same race. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been a Cheltenham race or something like that. It doesn't matter. I think both these horses can run better. And this one, once again, has only run, 4 times this season. So, yeah, those are the horse racing selections for Saturday, the 12th of April. So, for those of you that don't want to carry on, I'm going to put the football bet on now. So, I wish you the very best of luck. If you fancy something, let me know in the comments before. But like I said, I will be keeping an eye on the horses that have pulled up in the races, and I might occasionally chuck an each way look 15 out, thinking that we might have value, because these horses that get pulled up, they can be like the bunting of the race, one where it's being trialled, then it pulls it up, because I don't think they reassess horses when they've been pulled up. So it's a free go. It's a time trial. It's a whatever you want to call it. It's a fitness test. It's a schooling session. Yeah, all you got to do is either hold them. I think you're normally best off putting them up near the front, because if they hold up at the back and then pulled up, it looks a bit dodgy. But if you've got a horse that's forcing the lead, what I do like is the angle where it's normally a hold up horse, but in a particular race it's prominent, then gets pulled up. It's clearly, in my opinion, because I've seen it on the flat as well, not where they pull them up, but where they come tailed off, a change of tactics. It's purely a fitness test. So I wish you the very best of luck. I'm now going to get onto the football bet, and I need to hurry up. So I'm literally, I think League Two. Normally MK Dons aren't a bad one. These are going to be 3 o'clocks, by the way, because nothing worse than having two bets and one of them's down at 12:30. I'm going to have that one, Port Vale and Bromley. Bromley, I do believe, have got the top goal scorer in the league. Can't believe that at all. It was a channel tip, and it was Andy Cook to be top goal scorer. Well, he's been out with a knee operation. Unfortunately, he was second top goal scorer at the time. I tell you what, it's still not a million miles away now. It's like gutting. Each way, by the way. So League One, let's have a quick look at this. Stags aren't playing today, unless they're playing Sunday or played yesterday. There always seems to be goals in Lincoln matches. Let's have a quick look at Championship. Before me battery runs out. Sheffield Wednesday and Oxford. Sunderland, Swansea. Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford. Pigeon. Let's go for that one. Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford. I know that one's going to dominate. I only go for 2 now because I'm sticking one leg later me down, and you know what's going to happen. So, £7. And for those of you that know the drill, it's going to be same teams over 3.5 as well. So, you're fully aware that I've placed all these bets. Or do I cash out and then put it back in bank and pretend, no, all the bets are on? As if I'd have had a Saturday without having a bet. That's what Saturdays are for, isn't it? Oh, and if you're in a relationship, for painting as well. Painting spare bedroom. Or landing. Forget them days. I'll do what I want. Where's this going? Anyway, that's the bets on. So, I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.